His lips he wrinkled, and green and blue his sharp eyes twinkled.
Here's a frightening thought. Has nothing to do with nuclear weapons, or a stock market crash, or acid rain, or AIDS. Think what it would be like if there were no more children.
Followed, and when all were in to the very last, the door
Don't
of the
take them for
mountain
granted.
shut fast.
Here, try these on. Now let's see how this David Letterman ad looks. Looks great. Does it fit okay? Bet you're wondering where to get this stuff. WSTM-TV is proud to bring you the Channel 3 NBC Peacock Shop in Penn Mall. Great NBC and Channel 3 merchandise like T-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, caps, and more. Visit the Peacock Shop in Penn Mall near Hills Department Store. You'll find something for everyone on your shopping list. The Channel 3 NBC Peacock Shop in Penn Mall. Open now through the Christmas season.
Shop this Christmas at Bergen's for the most contemporary men's and women's fashions in central New York. Bergen's at these 5 locations.
Spending and selling, how the stores are going after your dollars at 6.
Thanks. Shut up. Thank you. Let's be honest, true confessions of the rich and famous can be a turn-on. I mean, it's fine when you see a star through the sanitized eyes of their public relations people, but what really catches our attention is when we see the real, flawed, flesh and blood person behind the carefully crafted PR image. Now, everybody knows Willie Nelson, for example. We love the guy. But did you know that Willie's been singing the same old cheating song with wife number 3, at least according to wife number 2, and at least according to the Star magazine? Well, now, Willie's come out with his own tell-all autobiography, and the subtitle of this book could have been To All the Girls I've Loved Before. You also all know the rock band Kiss. Well, although Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley have sold over 50 million records, they still say the main reason they got into the music business was to meet women. And wouldn't you love to hear their true confessions? Well, let me introduce them to you. Can you hold on? Originally hailing from the great metropolis of Abbott, Texas, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Willie Nelson. And those monsters of rock and roll, those pursuers of pleasure, from Kiss, here's Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. True confession, sex on the road, that's our focus today on Geraldo. Willie's image as a, good old down-home country boy is so mellow that when you read this book, I mean, this is a sizzling autobiography, and at least you think you know him. Let me read you first an excerpt from Kinky Friedman's Washington Post review of Willie's autobiography. I'm quoting. As an adult, Willie has laid down drunk on a snowy street in Nashville and waited for a truck to run him over. Ran for his life from various jealous wives and irate gun-toting husbands. Shot Ray Price's prize chickens for getting a little overzealous with his hens. He also admits having drunk beer and smoked marijuana on the roof of the White House with a high-ranking presidential aide that he refuses to identify. There's more. In his film career, this musical giant once uttered this memorable line to his co-star Robert Redford. Quote, "I don't know about you, but I'm going to find me a girl who can suck the chrome off a trailer hitch," end quote. He's the president of Farm Aid. Welcome again, the award-winning, gold record-selling, picnic-holding legend in his own time, Will Huey Nelson. Willie Hugh Nelson. The founders of KISS, on the other hand, say they are living proof that you can play the game your way and win. When asked what makes a rock star successful, for example, Gene Simmons says large appendages. He'll explain that, I guess, as the program proceeds. Paul Stanley's bottom line, life is not a rehearsal. So from KISS, Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons. Welcome. Willie, I'm telling you, I did not expect a hot book like this from, I mean, aren't you afraid of some backlash? I mean, this is really a tell-all autobiography.
I just couldn't keep my mouth shut.
I'm going to quote. As a good reporter, I'll quote. Quote, marijuana is like sex. If I don't do it every day, I get a headache.
Well, that's actually a misprint.
It's too late to back out now.
It really is. The truth
You need some
is,
aspirins? I know.
No, the truth is, if I don't get it every day, I don't get a headache. It's what should that.
Are you talking about grass now or women?
Well, either one. Usually I get more headaches with women.
You are recently, are you divorced now from the third wife?
We're getting a divorce.
Yeah. You've been married most of your adult life, but obviously marriage and life on the road don't go together. Have you discovered that now? Do you think forever, or do you think you'll try it again?
Well, I always kept trying to make it work, and as anybody knows that travels is 250 days a year, it's real hard, and I tried it once, and the road caused it to end. I tried it twice, the same thing, traveling too much and not spending enough time with your family. Absence does not make the heart grow fonder, regardless of what you may have heard.
Is the temptation the problem?
It's just the absence of not being. If you don't grow together, you grow apart. If you're not with each other enough, then your interests start changing, her interest starts changing. You're not thinking together, you're not planning together. Your lives are not intertwined anymore.
But you do have tremendous opportunities to have, you know, kind of frivolous relationships. Don't they, you know, predestine any kind of serious relationship to failure?
Well, if you do those things constantly, naturally they will. I don't think adultery per se was the problem of our not getting along. I think it was because I wasn't running around every night. I was out there working. You can't work 250 days a year on the road and do all the things that that they say I've done in my life.
When reading this book, you have squeezed an awful lot in there, I gotta say. Listen to this. Martha found out I'd been running around on her while I was in Nashville by myself. Then I found out she'd been running around on me, too. To my way of thinking, it was okay for me to cheat on her, but it sure as hell wasn't okay for her to cheat on me. This is not a quote that will sit well with feminists.
Well, that was 20, 30 years ago, and I was one of those macho-type guys that really believed that way at the time. We had been raised to believe that way. That the woman should stay home and the man should do this, and with a lot of double standards. And I realize now that it's just as important for the man to be a good husband as it is for the wife to be a good wife. These things I have learned over the years.
We note also for the record that yes, and it sounds good, but note for the record that Willie is no longer married. Is it because you feel you're constitutionally unable to be?
Well, I think it's just hard. A guy who travels as much, and not only a musician, an insurance salesman, a truck driver, anybody that's gone, continually gone, and spends millions of miles on the road in their life, cannot spend the quality time that they need to spend with their loved ones. And
the one thing that strikes me, I mean, there's a lot of things that are great about your autobiography, and I feel really that I know you so much better now. You seem a guy that, while making all kinds of money, really didn't give a damn about money. You cared about having a good time, being with your pals. you spent it as fast as you would earn it. Is that accurate?
Well, I'm still doing that, yeah, faster. I'm still doing that. I still believe money is to be enjoyed, and you can't keep it. You have to keep it circulating, I think.
I mean, even when you first made your, money on writing royalties from the records that you wrote that other people recorded and made hits out of before people really knew Willie U. Nelson, as soon as you get the check, you'd get the best penthouse, even if it was in the Holiday Inn. You'd get the best place. You'd cater it for all the guys in the band, everyone near you.
Yeah, this was back when I was playing with Ray Price. It was in 1961 we're talking about, and I was a young guy who never had any money before, and all of a sudden I got a big check for $4,000 or $5,000, and that was a huge amount of money to me. So the first thing I did is rent a penthouse and have a party for my friends. I didn't think that was too unusual at the time. Maybe it is, I don't know, but I think now if I got a check for that much, I might figure out something else to do with it. I don't know.
And yet when you wrote On the Road Again on an airplane on a air sickness bag sitting next to Sidney Pollack, that expressed the real deep-down affection you had for that gypsy lifestyle, didn't it?
Yeah, I enjoy playing music, and I enjoy traveling. I enjoy having an audience show up and enjoy our music, and they go away happy and we go away happy, and to me that's a perfect day.
Do you think that there will ever be a time when you will settle down? I mean, you've settled down, what, 3, 4, 5, 6 times already?
I'm settled now.
When's the next time you hit the road?
Well, I'm on the road now. We played in Cleveland last night.
It's in your blood, isn't it? I mean, you're a troubadour.
That's what I do. I really enjoy playing music, and I enjoy traveling. I enjoy waking up in a new town every day. I enjoy it when I walk out of a strange motel and somebody says, "Hi, Willie." I mean, that knocks me out because I don't know him. He knows me. I made a new friend. And it's like waking up in your hometown every day.
I had no idea what a crazy guy you could be, though. I mean, I'm going to quote again. I guess the roof of the White House is the safest place I can think of to smoke dope. Wait a second. Is this a misprint or?
No, that's actually wasn't supposed to make the book. It was one of the. I had about a 12 or 15-hour tape session with Bud Shrake and I, who wrote the book together.
But you don't deny it happened.
I don't deny it happened. I just wish it hadn't been in the book because I think the Carters are great people and they're great hosts. They had no idea what I was doing. And
let's note that for the record. Willie says President Carter and Rosalind did not know that he was on the roof smoking dope with the high-ranking presidential aide he will not name.
No, they did not know it, and I'm really sorry that they had to find out in a book.
I wonder if the Secret Service knew what was going on.
I doubt that very seriously.
They have to know what's happening on the roof of the White House. I mean, we're going to come up with, like, the papers, the secret papers years later when they have everything blacked out under the Freedom of Information Act. Willie Hugh Nelson and blah, blah, blah were seen... Does it embarrass you or just that the Carters didn't know?
Well, it embarrasses me that the Carters didn't know, and I have apologized to them, and I will apologize again to them again.
But you don't apologize for your life, though.
Well, obviously, that was when I was talking about that. I really didn't make a big deal out of it because I didn't think it was a big deal. It was I was having a beer with a friend, and probably the beer is what made me get up on top of the White House.
You will never be a conformist in the way that the mainstream of society lives, though. But don't you enjoy that aspect of your life? The fact that, A, you're a troubadour. In a way, you're a bohemian, almost, in your sense of freedom, in your need to be free.
Yeah, I love to be free. I love to travel, and I love to, like I say, I love to wake up in a new world every morning.
I want to get to Paul and Jean, but is it true, as your second wife alleges, that when your women get to be 40 years old, you trade them in?
No, that's not true. No.
And yet Gene Simmons admits,
You know, I can't believe this. As soon as he gets to the bad part, he goes, I've been a good boy for the whole... I have kept my mouth shut, this man, and yet Gene Simmons...
admits, ladies and gentlemen, that he has photographs of the almost 3,000 partners he has been with.
They're not mine. They're all Willie Nelson's girls.
We'll be right back after this. Stay with us.
Pepsi-Cola is pleased to announce that E.T. has come home on video cassette. And Pepsi is offering a special $5 rebate with the purchase of an E.T. video and Pepsi.
The new Remington Electroblade vibrating blade system has been an amazing success for those who prefer shaving with a blade. Electroblade's high-speed motor and vibrating twin blades glide so easily, you'll get the closest, smoothest, most comfortable blade shave you've ever imagined. If you don't, I'll give you your money back. Safe, immersible, and cordless. The new Remington Electroblade vibrating blade system. A blade shave like you've never imagined, or your money back.
For holiday gifts, your hard-earned dollar goes further at Ames.
You know you work so hard for your dollar. To get the things you want, you work a little harder.
Get Nintendo's Power Set with a new Power Pad, now available at Ames. Plus, Nintendo game cartridges are holiday priced from only $32.99 to $42.99.
For all of us at Ames, season's greetings.
Concerned about breast cancer? You should be. So do yourself a favor. Get a safe, simple mammogram, especially if you're over 35 or fall into one of the other risk categories. Call 475-MAMMO, 475-MAMO, and listen to a brief recorded message in the privacy of your own home on how a mammogram can help you and how easy it is to get. Please call, listen, then act.
Okay, we're back with three well-known troubadours, Willie Nelson, Paul Stanley, and Gene Simmons. Gene.
Yes.
Did you really get into the music business for the women?
All right. Honestly, yes. And my contention is that anybody who puts a guitar around their neck, no matter how socially conscious they are, no matter how much they talk about the starving people in Ethiopia, at the end of the night, he wants to go back to the hotel and have a beautiful girl.
But was that a conscious decision when you started? They don't know. They don't know. This is no applauding for the most popular statement. When you first strung the guitar on your neck, you could not have known that it would have this impact, or did you?
I faked it. I do what every guy does. We bluff. Oh yeah, I can play this thing. Come on, look at me. Anything.
Were you having difficulty with women prior to the guitar?
No, I did okay. It's just somehow when you wipe honey on yourself, there's just more bees that just... It's more appealing. I mean, I like to joke around with it and have a good time with it, but the truth is, it's just a sexier thing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a dentist or a plumber, but women seem to be attracted. Women seem to be attracted more to guys on stage who wear more makeup than they do. I don't know why.
You think there's something sociological in this, Paul, or what?
I'm just listening. You know, sometimes people are really glorify what it's like to be on the road, and you get all these pictures, and Gene takes all these photos of women, and he didn't want me to do this, but I brought one along anyway.
They're not all beautiful.
This could be an eloquent truth
Not
in
only
this.
that, but she had a sister.
Since
I know that girl.
You know
her. Since we're on the subject,
Willie was with her in Cleveland last night. No.
Honest to God, this was not a plant. We were in the dressing room putting on our makeup, and our makeup man handed us something that I'm going to bring out in a second. And he was doing a photo session for a magazine called Modern Bride, and one of the brides wanted something signed. So We did. And you don't know what this is? All right. But honest, it's not a, it's just one of those things. And the other thing I'd like to talk to you about is this show. I mean, we feel hairless. You guys have all this. Sorry about that.
I'm seldom speechless. But in the process of the life on the road, do the personalities of the women matter to you all?
I think you always try to find somebody that's compatible. It's just for how long you're talking about.
But if Gene's up to 3,000, how much time could he have spent? He's not that old.
I don't think...
Well, we're talking quality time as opposed to...
I don't... Look, I've never been involved with drugs or drinking, and I'm not getting up on a soapbox. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't get high. I've never been high in my life, but that's not the point. I'm not trying to make a statement for you to follow. You go figure it out for yourself. For me, this works. And in the early 70s when we toured, well, we still tour. We just got off of a year-long tour. When you get to Davenport, Iowa, television goes off the air at 9, 10 o'clock at night. You get hog prices at 6 a.m., and there's nothing to do in between. Photography seemed like a good outlet.
But, I mean, you didn't pose these women in their gowns.
Anywhere.
I mean, these are nude photographs of the women that you've had.
Yeah, but I'd like to think they're in good taste. They are swinging from flagpoles in hotels. They are out in hallways with signs in front of them, running, doing everything, carrying "We Love Willie Nelson" signs up and down. Anything you can imagine. But obviously, this is just good times, stuff to keep yourself occupied until the next 300-mile trip.
We've always tried to have a good time. I don't think we've ever hurt anybody intentionally. We try to take care of ourselves. People talk about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. But frankly, when anybody else was talking about getting high or drugs, I just thought more sex,
But isn't that an addiction of sorts? I don't want to get too philosophical.
Oh, we've heard stories about the Geraldo libido here. I mean, all the girls out there aren't waiting for us.
I haven't written my book yet. No, I'm, as you know, very settled now.
Yeah, I know. I use the same line myself. Ladies, I'm reformed, ladies. I'm looking for a relationship. Yeah, I know that line.
I think anything you enjoy, you do as much as you want, and at some point, if you grow tired, you take a little break. It's nice to know it's there, though.
What do you mean life is not a rehearsal?
Well, you should go for everything. You don't get a second chance. It's like a one-way trip. Dress nice, go on all the rides. It's kind of like Disneyland. If you play it right, it's like this roller coaster, and it just doesn't end. So make the most of it. I mean, you can put things off and say, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I shouldn't do that, but usually it backfires. 10, 15 years later, you're wondering why you didn't give it a shot. So, I mean, it's not a rehearsal. Let's go for it, have a good time. Don't hurt anybody, don't hurt yourself.
Do you feel comfortable, Willie, that right now you can do that? You can do or be anybody you want to be?
I was feeling comfortable while you was talking to these guys.
The heat's back.
Well, what was the question?
Is there a great comfort in the fact that you can be whoever you want to be now? You can say that if you want to, that you were up on the White House roof or doing whatever you were doing, wherever you were doing it.
Well, that was all 10 years ago. I was another guy back then. I did a lot of crazy things back then that I was not proud of. There was more crazier things than that I did that I don't do anymore.
But you weren't hurting anybody. I mean, let the decision on marijuana be for another program. In fact, you were doing something that you were having fun doing. We can, say, oh, this is awful, this is that. But the fact is you were having a good time. You were independent. You were free.
I enjoyed it. We sat up there and we could see the roads coming into the White House. There was one, when you sit on top of the building, there's the way that place is laid out, there's roads coming in all the way, and it's right in the middle. And it was set up that way, I guess, for security reasons years ago, where all roads led to the White House. And it was really a nice evening up there. The stars were shining. It was beautiful.
Now you're addicted to golf,
and we weren't shredding
right?
paper in the basement.
What's that?
We were not shredding
papers
in the basement.
Touche. All right. Okay, we got to take a break. We're going to talk some more to these guys. They've had long, very successful careers. They have very strong opinions about who they are, what they do. We'll be back. Gene Stanley, Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Willie Nelson. Right after this.
Brought to you in part by JCPenney. You're looking smarter than ever at JCPenney.
Playing Santa is easier than ever thanks to JCPenney and the big 3-day sale. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 3 whole days of store-wide savings, like Mrs. Selected satin nightshirts, sleepwear, and robes. The gifts you'll love to give. 25 to 50% off selected fine jewelry, and 25% off selected men's sweaters. So bring your list to the 3-day sale. JCPenney. We bring out the Santa in you. JCPenney.
The new Remington Electroblade vibrating blade system has been an amazing success for those who prefer shaving with a blade. Electroblade's vibrating twin blades glide so easily you'll get the closest, smoothest blade shave you've ever imagined or your money back.
Folks, for dentures that feel fresh as a morning breeze, try my Mint Fresh Polident. It's got a minty mouthwash ingredient, so it freshens up dentures as it cleans tough stains. Try Super Strength Polident Green, the mouth freshening clean. Ah.
I eat sausage with onions with your president, and my wife is telling me get Lorsky. So, I'll take a Clorette's.
Hello, my little babushka. Only Clorette's has Actazole with chlorophyll. Gets rid of bad breath fast.
When the burning, itching, and soreness of hemorrhoids flare up, Tux medicated pads give you soothing, cooling relief on contact. For hemorrhoid flare-up, get Tux from Park Davis.
10 batteries?
You're not included?
No batteries, no Christmas.
There's something you should know. They're free. Here.
Buy a burger, get a battery.
No, buy gift certificates. Get 4 batteries.
So the toy people don't give you batteries. The Burger King people do?
Buy a $5 book of gift certificates and get Ever-Ready Energizer AA batteries free at Burger King.
This weekend at the New York State Fairgrounds, it's the original Central New York Antique and Collector Show and Sale. This sale has taken place every Thanksgiving and Mother's Day since 1977. It's New York's largest inside show of this type in the heart of Central New York, featuring over 200 dealers, and glass grinding is available. Admission $3, children free. Food and free parking on premises. That's this weekend at the New York State Fairgrounds, Saturday 10 till 8 and Sunday 10 till 5.
Rosa and Sullivan's 3-day manufacturer's authorized markdown sale is saving you hundreds off your purchases. Zenith, RCA, Samsung, Toshiba, GE, Magnavox, Hitachi, Sanyo, and Sony are some of the brand names you'll find at remarkable savings. Plus, there's no payments or finance charges for 120 days. Don't miss out. This once-a-year sale continues today, 10 till 9, and ends Saturday at 6 p.m. Hurry to the Rosa and Sullivan location nearest you.
I can't help but notice your Texas pin. Is your question related?
Well, Willie's home people are here today. My mother and I are here from Austin. And I just want to thank you for putting all your thoughts and feelings in music, because we've been loving it since I was 12 years old. And I wanted to know if your book is going to be made into a movie.
I don't know. There hasn't been any talk about that yet.
Who would play Willie Nelson?
Well, if it is, I hope they find a great 4-year-old.
Wait, what was that? I missed Robert Redford.
If it is made into a movie, I hope they have a great 4-year-old to play the part with his nose bleeding down his
Thank you.
So wait, what do you think of Willie there? Is he almost like,
Everyone at home loves and respects Willie a whole lot. I mean, it's the apple tree theory, that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Do you understand that?
That's another show about trees and stuff. Yeah, I didn't know that Willie was the star of the Abbott High Panthers, a famous football player.
Oh, yes.
What's the population of Abbott?
322, I believe.
How many of them are Nelsons?
Excuse me?
How many of them are Nelsons?
In fact, right now there's probably not any Nelsons there, except when I'm there.
You bought your old doctor's house?
The house that was 100 yards from where I was born. It was the doctor's house who delivered me and also my sister Bobby. And I bought it and stay up there whenever I can.
You're a nostalgic softy, you know?
Yeah.
Hi. 2 questions. One, Jean, I have a 24-year-old beautiful Jewish daughter, and I make great matzo ball soup. I'll get you to settle down. But really, Willie, something you said...
You mean you were kidding about the daughter?
No, I'm not kidding. I have a 26-year-old son in medical school. I'm looking for brides and grooms here.
Oh, well, we'll see her later. The lady in the back row.
For Willie, something he said before, and Geraldo, really this is true. A lot of people think, well, why do people get married who are on the road if you can't settle down? You know, you still have the feeling of home and family, but when you are traveling, that's your job. And if he was like everyone here, he wouldn't be up there, he'd be here. And we'd have no one up there to watch.
Well, do you fault him for trying marriage?
No, not at all. I know marriage is very hard. I'm married almost 30 years to one man. I don't know how he's surviving, but I'm still hanging in there. But very honestly, I know it's very, very difficult at times. It's hard to raise a family. It's hard to make a living. And there are times you feel like saying, what the heck is this all about? But if you have a job as you have, and that is your job, and you have to go off and do it, it's difficult for the wife staying home, but you do have to make more of an effort.
She'll be available after the program, gentlemen. Little advice. No, I mean for your advice. They could probably use something. Okay, good.
One question to Gene and Paul. I seen y'all movie a while back, Kids vs. the Phantom. It was a good movie, wasn't it? I'm just wondering, do y'all plan on making any more movies in the future?
We were banned after that film.
All right, this is Gene. You was a teacher at one time, wasn't you?
Yes.
Okay, as far as the image that you created after you stopped teaching, don't you think that it reflects, to the children that you would,
In a negative way?
In a negative way?
No, I think it's the most wholesome image you can have, which is that a kid who comes from Israel, which is where I was born, comes here at 9 years of age, hears about the American dream, and makes it come true for himself without having to, in any way, shape, or form, change his personal beliefs. You can have it your own way. Yeah.
I have a question for Willie. You seem like a Jack Kerouac type of guy. Did you really always think that you'd make it, even when you were really down and out and on the road?
Yeah, I did. I always thought that something would happen, and I had my heroes, Hank Williams and Ernest Tubb and guys like that I saw that were making it. Yeah, I always felt like one day I would get a hit record or something.
Did you think you'd make a lot of money, or did you think people would recognize you as a songwriting talent or as a performer?
Well, all of those things. In the beginning, it was the songwriting that caught on first, and it was a long time before any records sold.
How many people know the great Patsy Cline? I'm crazy. Willie Nelson wrote that.
I know he's on the road quite a bit. I was just wondering, how many performances do you do a year?
About 250.
With your situation, social situation on the road, to bring it back to that, don't you ever get tired of strangers?
Well, sure. I mean,
strangers in the night?
I think the ideal situation, everybody wants some sort of home life and everybody wants a relationship. I think what we're talking about is something to pass time when you're on the road. You know, we're not talking about a permanent lifestyle. We're talking about something to keep you busy. Some people play cards.
It's true.
I mean, I don't think anybody is really fooling themselves. Everybody knows that whether you're at home, nobody really wants to be a milkman, but somebody keeps delivering the milk to the door every day. There's got to be some fringe benefits. Come on, we know that.
But what about when you were, for instance, with Cher? I mean, how the heck did a woman as strong-willed as her put up with you?
She didn't.
No. That story after this break, folks.
Thanksgiving weekend, Friday and Saturday only, AA&A Liquidators will be here with hundreds of authentic handmade Persian and Oriental wool rugs. All colors, all sizes. Own a fine to breeze. Retail $2,500. Liquidation price just $749. Decorator Duries. Retail $275. Now only $49. And every rug is authentic, certified, handmade. This Friday and Saturday only at the Sheraton Inn, 7th North Street and Electronics Parkway. Take the New York State Thruway to exit 37, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
On Tuesday, Channel 3 viewers found out at 6 that a nightmare had finally ended for an SU graduate.
Good evening. Our top story, freedom tonight for SU graduate Conan Owen.
At the same time, the other Syracuse TV stations were reporting Owen wouldn't be released until Christmas. But on Nightcast at 11, we showed you Owen's homecoming.
Oh, just...
Keeping you up to the latest news. One reason Channel 3 is the news station.
When I'm working in the kitchen, anything I find to make my life easier, like Reynolds plastic wrap, is greatly appreciated. It handles great. And cling? How's this for cling?
Reynolds plastic wrap. Wrap it right.
A Reynolds oven cooking bag is such a convenient way to cook a meal because the meat bastes itself, tender and juicy, right inside the bag. And there's no messy pan or oven to clean up. So make it convenient with Reynolds oven cooking bags.
Just a reminder that every week in TV Guide, you'll find something timely.
For example, the really special moments from Barbara Walters' 50 Specials. Pick up your TV Guide today.
The topic on the table is Cher. How did you balance your crazy life with your life with her?
I was hoping the commercial would make you forget. I think it's like, what Paul said, you try not to do certain things to hurt certain people, and the most important thing, whether you care about somebody or not, is respect. I think everybody's got to be treated with respect, and at the beginning of the relationship, you have to lay the cards on the table, and then you figure out what you can get away with. But the answer is, you try not to, you don't.
You don't what? Wait.
While you have a relationship, boy, you guys are getting me in trouble.
What don't you?
You try not to succumb to the devil's...
carnal urges.
Carnal urges. Thank you very much.
That's why they've been partners for so long.
It's
Paul gives
rough.
them all his best lines.
You could care about somebody and, think you're going to have a relationship for the rest of your life. It's rough. You're out there 200, 300 days out of the year, and every night of the, there are hundreds of girls with signs on them. I'm yours. It's tough.
From the tone of your answer, is it correct to say that
look where he's going.
It was so tough that you could not do it?
I refuse to answer on the grounds that it may incriminate Willie.
Gene, we were talking over here that, it seems really awfully disrespectful to women. And for you to say that you offer respect, I had 3,000 women. What does that say about you? What does it say about the women?
I think it says...
Did you see...
I think it's a valid question, and although my morals may not agree with yours, don't be so quick to put them down. I think it's real upfront. None of these women, who incidentally I had a lovely time with, in any way, shape, or form thought that they were going to have a lifelong relationship. They knew what it was, and we both had a wonderful time. What's wrong with that? Sometimes all of us had a wonderful time.
I just wanted to get back to Willie again. I wanted to thank you very much for the song that you wrote, On the Road Again.
Thank you.
We have an RV, we travel full-time all the time, and we play that every time we go on the horn. We love it. Thank you.
Yeah. When my dad was alive, my parents had an RV also, and also, that was the theme song of their group, the kind of the Gray Panthers. They'd be driving around all over the country. Same question? Okay. And be saying, playing your song. What was the appendage you were talking about earlier?
Usually when I meet people, they say, stick out your tongue. Let's see how long it is. So, it's a dumb thing to be known for, but... mean, I've written some good songs. I can sing okay. Stick out your tongue. Every time I meet somebody, hey, man, Eugene Simmons, hey, let me see your tongue.
All together. 1, 2, 3.
No!
You got to buy a ticket.
All right, make room.
3, 2.
No, the floor is dirty. I can't. All right, come in for a close-up. Available for bar mitzvahs, weddings, $3.90.
Good. 10 years ago, I was the most devoted, completely idolized, devoted Kiss fan. I dressed like you.
How'd they break your heart? Go ahead, tell us.
They didn't break my heart, but they didn't break my heart. My mom would never let me go to a concert until I was about 19.
Over the hill.
I noticed in the last year, all the old costumes are back, the Kiss makeup kits, they're digging them up again. Do you know why that is? Why all the old paraphernalia?
I think probably because, you know, something that's good comes back, you know. I think that things go in cycles, and even something that seems to become dated, if it's really good, finds its way back again. I think that really what Kiss is all about, honestly, is rock and roll. I think if Elvis had played through a big amplifier, you could have called them metal or, you know, heavy metal or Kiss kind of music. So I think ultimately, you know, guys may have skinny ties and short hair or green hair. Usually after a while, you go back to some sort of rock and roll, even if it's updated. And I think Kiss is really the living proof after 15 years and 22 albums that rock and roll survives in some sort of form.
Right. Okay, we'll be right back with these guys. Let's take a break.
America, this holiday weekend, is it better to sit or to save at Zayre, where you can save all day, all night, 64 hours nonstop? Is it better to sit or save on brand names, fashion, and gifts? The savings never stop all weekend long, all day, all night. So hide from those visiting relatives and find nonstop savings at Zayre, going all day, all night now until midnight Saturday. Be there.
Going through a divorce is bad, but going through a Hollywood divorce is the worst.
Joan, would you ever marry again? No, I said I don't need a husband, I need a wife.
Now, Entertainment Tonight gets the inside story on what really happens when the stars split up.
Sometimes the stars like it, and they almost court the publicity.
What's it like when your private matters become a public spectacle? Get the inside story on the next Entertainment Tonight. Weeknights at 7:30 on Channel 3.
All I did was eat a chili dog with pickles, and all of a sudden I'm living in Siberia. So I take a Claret.
Hey, where did you come from?
Only Claret's has Actazole with chlorophyll. Gets rid of bad breath fast. Hemorrhoids. They hurt, burn, and swell. Over the years, more doctors have recommended Anusol than Preparation H to relieve the hurting. Anusol is the word to remember for relief.
Hi friends, Jay Robinson, Red Creek, and during our Thanksgiving Day sale, we've got an 88 Medallion, $55 down, $145 a month. This 85 Dodge Caravan, $55 down, $175 a month. I want to tell you about a survey taken in Red Creek. Of the people that purchase cars from us, 93% of these people plan on returning to Red Creek to purchase another car. And for you to enjoy the same benefits, all you've got to do is come to Red Creek.
Hurry down to see Jay Robinson in Red Creek, New York.
Well, my question's for Willie. Are you going to try for number 4, and will you take her on the road with you? And why don't you take her on the road with you?
Yeah, I think that would be a great idea. It has a better chance of lasting if you stay together on the road. Yes, matter of fact.
Wait, is this, hold it. This could be news. Is this an announcement, Willie? Are you engaged?
No.
But you have someone
in mind.
In mind?
Yes.
So you have a designated fiance. I want to go as far as
a target.
A target. You know, that reminds me. Have any of you guys ever been turned down by any women?
Oh, sure. Sure.
Well, you start. You remember her or them?
I'm sure there's been many, you know. I mean, I tend to remember the people who said yes instead of the ones who said no.
In that kind of number, how can you remember anybody? I mean, unless, you know.
I don't remember anything.
Yeah, that was leading the fit. You don't remember any rejections?
Oh, sure, lots of times. But usually...
After becoming in the business or famous?
Fewer.
Gene,
Fewer.
well, you've mentioned that you've been with quite a few women. I'm curious, have you ever truly been in love? And if you have you ever been faithful to that person for an extended period of time?
Yes.
Sure.
More than once.
Of course.
For what period of time? A
2
week
weeks.
or...
2 weeks, what a commitment.
Paul Stanley said that, not Gene Simmons.
I was asked backstage at a show that I saw this summer, and someone came up to me in the crowd.
One of ours?
No. Someone came up to me in the crowd and gave me a pass and said, hey, come on backstage after the show, and so on and so forth. But how do people find their way backstage at your shows?
That's one of them.
Yeah.
How do they find... the truth is that there are as many ways as people are inventive. You could literally walk into your hotel room and she's there with a ribbon around her, or, any combinations of things you can imagine somehow.
Were you flattered when it happened to you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
her problem was she couldn't find the way backstage.
No, I mean, it was definitely a big meat market when I found my way there, but...
Did you stay?
Yeah. Well, yeah, sure.
That's it.
Let me ask you this. Did you abandon your personal rules for, boy-girl encounters to go back there and take advantage of this invitation to be with a rock person?
Well, the actual big-name star wasn't there, and there was no one I was particularly attracted to who was there. I mean, it was
so
all
it was the
the
fact that he was
roadies
the big-name star that would have made it worthwhile
Well,
to
he is
stay.
someone who I might be attracted to, but because he's an attractive person. But there was no one. The people who were there were the warm-up, or the opening band, and
well, we got to wait until they're headliners then.
I don't think...
Well, is she saying that? I mean, it sounds like you are saying that it would have made a difference if they were famous.
I think there's something very seductive about power and about fame. And obviously, the closer you get to the source, you make up your mind how far you want to go.
None of these guys are really very good looking. I just want to know what method did they use to get women?
He said it, I didn't say it.
My suggestion...
But now that he mentioned it...
I would only worry if I was attractive to him.
Is it power that attracts, Gene? What do you think?
I think it's a combination of all things. I think it's power, it's sex. When you get up on stage, yeah, I think you're right. I don't think you have to be the best-looking guy in the world, as obviously you are.
Stand up again, Red. Stand up.
Come on, let's stand up. Let's...
Willie, I just want to say you're one of the greatest. Lord knows, I mean, a lot of people here, I'm sure, will attest to having enjoyed your music through the years. But in that movie, Honeysuckle Rose, it more or less depicted what people might think life on the road is like. Was it close? I mean, was it? I know it was only a movie, but
that's exactly like that.
Tell us more, Will.
I would say.
It was true to life.
Yeah, it was a life in the day of, as they say. A day in the life of.
I have a question for Gene. Did you ever write a song about any of the women that you were with?
Yes, there was a song I wrote called Plaster Caster. That was...
Wait, hold that story. That deserves a cliffhanger. We'll be right back. The story of Plaster Caster after this.
For free tickets to Geraldo, please write Geraldo, Times Square Station, Post Office Box 684, New York, New York, 10108. Please send a self-addressed stamped envelope or call 212-265-1283.
At Braun, we designed the hand blender to make it easier to blend. Puree. Whip. And now even chop. Thanks to this new chopper attachment. Now we can say the Braun hand blender does everything from soup to nuts.
Now, when you buy the variable speed Braun hand blender,
Get the chopper free.
It hurts. Sinus pressure and headache. It really, really hurts. A painkiller alone can't stop it. A nasal decongestant alone can't stop it. Sinutab can stop it. Sinutab combines the painkiller in Tylenol with the decongestant in Sudafed to give you more than either one alone. Sinutab is the #1 sinus medicine for a good reason. It stops the pain. It stops the pain. Sinutab stops the pain.
For transcripts, please send $3 to Journal Graphics, Geraldo Transcripts, 267 Broadway, New York, New York, 10007. Or call 212-227-READ.
Don't miss Rosa and Sullivan's 3-day manufacturer's authorized markdown sale starting today at 10 a.m. We're moving out all floor samples, scratch and dent pieces, and one-of-a-kind models at ridiculously low prices. Plus, there's no payments or finance charges for 120 days. This sale only happens once a year, so take advantage and save hundreds off your General Electric purchases. Don't miss Rosa and Sullivan's exciting 3-day manufacturer's authorized markdown sale. Today and tomorrow, 10 till 9, Saturday, 10 till 6. Why go anywhere else?
Are they good? Yes, they are. I wish I could have one, but you can't. They're not for alligators.
New alphabet fries from McCain. They're F-U-N to E-A-T.
When you bite Dentine, that snappy flavor bites you back. And that tingle freshens your breath. Dentine, the gum that bites you back.
When the burning, itching, and soreness of hemorrhoids flare up, Tux medicated pads give you soothing, cooling relief on contact. For hemorrhoid flare-up, get Tux from Park Davis.
Here, try these on. Now let's see how this David Letterman hat looks. Looks great. Does it fit okay? Bet you're wondering where to get this stuff. WSTM-TV is proud to bring you the Channel 3 NBC Peacock Shop in Pan-Can Mall. Great NBC and Channel 3 merchandise like T-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, caps, and more. Visit the Peacock Shop in Pan-Can Mall near Hills Department Store. You'll find something for everyone on your shopping list. The Channel 3 NBC Peacock Shop in Pan-Can Mall. Open now through the Christmas season.
When last we left our intrepid heroes, Gene was about to tell us about the origins of the Plaster Caster song.
Oh, that song. That song. Yeah, that's a classic. A lot of people are covering that. What's your question? What's the song about? The song is about some girls in Chicago who are known with a capital K, as in biblically, to some musicians. They take plaster casts of. You don't want to know.
Not of their tongue. Not of their tongues.
The lyric goes, "The plaster's getting harder, and my love is perfection, a token of my love for her collection." So, yeah.
Gene, with all these one-night stands, aren't you afraid of AIDS and the diseases that are around today?
Yeah. Sure. Scared to death. I am. It's not a joke. I don't think it's a funny
But what do you
matter.
do about it? What do you do about it?
You have to be careful, and I think when it rains, you have to wear a raincoat, and that's what you can do.
Is that a veiled reference to condoms?
Yes. I think it's obvious. I mean, it's no jokes. You've got to wear condoms, and that's all there is to it.
Well, I was thinking maybe you could have, like, designer kiss condoms.
We already tried. We were going to call our last album Condemnation, but it didn't.
Were any of you married while you had these one-night stands?
No, I'm not married. I am going to have a boy in January, though.
You're going to have a baby?
Yeah.
Oh, who's mom?
Her name is Shannon Tweed. She's a...
Oh, I read about that. She's an ex-Playboy centerfold?
Yeah.
Is this your first child?
As far as I know.
How do you feel about it?
Scared to death.
Will you be a good parent, do you think?
Yeah.
You going to try?
I'm going to do my damnedest. I don't really know what it's going to be about, but I'll try to teach him, I think, the important things in life.
Which are?
Why?
To me, to me, the important things in life are don't hurt anybody else, try to have your own sense of integrity, and don't really pay too much attention to what other people think. And the rest is not important.
How many kids do you have, Will?
I have 5.
And they're grown now.
Yeah, I have 8 grandchildren.
8 grandchildren.
Yeah.
Are they fans? Are they fans of Grandpa?
Yeah, they are. Of course, they have their own rock and roll fans too, you know. But they
Did they call you Willie or Grandpa?
Grandpa.
Willie, will you sing a song for us?
If you'll sing a verse with me. On the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends. And I can't wait to get on the road again. Big finish. And I can't wait to get on the road again.
All right. We'll be right back. Willie Nelson. We'll be right back.
No matter what you do this holiday season, you'll want to stop and take time out for Highland's Holiday Sale with some of the lowest prices of the year. Like $198 for a 19-inch portable solid-state color TV with remote control. And $168 for a Magnavox compact disc player with remote. Highland's Holiday Sale ends Wednesday night, so don't be left out in the cold.
So what's little dandruff?
Okay, imagine you're at the social event of the year, and your dream girl says hello, just as you do this. Her first impression? What a hunk. And only a few flakes.
Give me a break.
The breaks are you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
So?
So regular shampoos won't fix your problem. Try this.
Head and Shoulders? But you don't have dandruff.
Bingo.
Head and Shoulders, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
In the new movie, The Land Before Time, Littlefoot, Sarah, Ducky, and Spike share an incredible journey. Along the way, they become best friends.
Now we'll always be together.
And now these lovable characters can be your child's friends too. With a pizza from Pizza Hut, a Land Before Time dinosaur is only 99 cents. So come to Pizza Hut. Your friends are waiting.
We'll always be together. Pizza Hut, making it great.
There's a naturally decaffeinated coffee that's so fresh it's actually vacuum sealed while it's still warm in the bag. Sanka, fresh ground, smooth tasting, and now in a new vacuum pack. Sanka decaffeinated coffee. Nothing's fresher.
Here's a scenario for you. Gene, you have a little baby girl. She grows up. She wants to go out with a rock and roll guy. What do you tell her?
How old is she?
18, 16, 17, whatever old they are when they go backstage in Europe.
18? Have a good time, be careful.
How judgmental back there. Disgusting is it? Willie, what's left undone in your life?
Nothing, I hope.
What goals do you want to achieve that you haven't yet?
Well, my major goal is tomorrow night to play a good concert up at Westbury Music Theater.
What about in the Broadview?
I don't try to look too far ahead. I live one day at a time and take it as it comes and try to enjoy it, and I suggest everybody do that.
Same thing. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Willie Nelson. In from the cold, but not for long. Thank them. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Services have been furnished to the Geraldo Show in exchange for these announcements. Hotel accommodations in New York City provided by the Omni Park Central in mid-Manhattan near Carnegie Hall, Central Park, and Broadway theaters. Call 800 the Omni or 212-484-3300.
Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Willie Nelson. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanksgiving weekend, Friday and Saturday only, AA&A Liquidators will be here with hundreds of authentic handmade Persian and Oriental wool rugs. All colors, all sizes.